Hi folks, welcome to the channel, welcome to this video. Such a beautiful day in Villamartin. You can start to feel a little bit of coldness now. It's mid-December coming into the air, but it's still a beautiful day. And I've come to the top of my local wee hill to start the video. This is my place to come and sit. Lovely view, nice vibe. Now before we get into this video, I'm going to be doing a series of videos on how I navigated all the various and necessary hoops I had to jump through to move from Northern Ireland to Spain. Now, I've already, for followers of the channel know this, but I've already made a previous video detailing all the steps and costs of me buying my property here in Villamartin. And I'll put a wee link in the description for anyone who hasn't seen that. Very useful video, I think. And in this video, I'm going to cover the full process, including costs, of re-registering my UK Northern Ireland car in Spain. And then in future videos in this series, I'm going to share my experiences with everything from getting my Spanish medical card, my SIM card, to acquiring Spanish car insurance, to obtaining my Spanish residency and more. And I think I've already said, and I'm going to include all costs associated with everything in these videos, right? As always in this type of video, when I do this type of video, disclaimer, I'm no expert, I'm just sharing my experience, which may or may not be the same as yours or anyone else's who has done this or intend and going to do this. So you can consider this a how I did it guide and not a strict how-to guide, okay? And I'll also make, on this subject, I'll also make another video in the near future explaining why I decided to import my car into Spain with all the hassle and associated costs, etc., rather than buy a car here, which will hopefully help anyone who's facing the same decision, the same dilemma. But that's for later in the series. So here is the process that I followed from start to finish. And first of all, like almost everything that I've done since I got to Spain, I hired a professional to help me. I found that for most things, there's small businesses all over the place that can handle these sort of things at reasonably low cost. It takes away the language problem and the worry of getting something wrong. Although no doubt, if you wanted to plough ahead yourself and figure it all out, you could do and probably save money. But definitely, I imagine, would be more hassle. Now, for importing a car, my friend Andy, who lives here and who has went through the experience of importing his car, recommended the company that he used, which is Car Registration Spain. I'll call them CRS for short in the rest of this video, so I don't have to keep saying it. They're based in Los Alcázares, which is half an hour drive down the coast from here, from where I live. But there's lots of other companies that do the same thing. You see signs all over the place actually. But I found this company to be great to work with. And the best part, they all speak English. Big help. So, very straightforward. I gave them a call, told them what I was looking for. They emailed me back, asked me some questions, some information that they needed, including some photographs of the headlights and the tail lights of the car, which I'll explain in a minute. And they then sent me an all-inclusive cost, which I will talk about at the end of the video. I'll let you know how much it cost me exactly. So, what's included in that cost is the ITV, which is their version of the MOT test and certificate. So they do that for you. They apply for that. They even take your car to it and bring it back to you. The Spanish registration and all associated paperwork and costs. The ITV card and window sticker. They arrange payment of any import tax that may be due on the car that you're bringing in, of which I didn't have to pay any import tax. I'll explain that at the end as well, or later. They processed and completed all the customs paperwork. They paid the first 3 months road tax, SUMA, and I decided to pay the rest of the year, so that was an extra on the mine. But the first 3 months is included if you don't want to bother with it at the time. They will supply and install the number plates, and as you'll see, they're only supplying them to me because I don't want to drive away down the coast again to get them. They're going to send them to me, I'll put them on myself. And finally, they even notify the DVLA or the DVA in Northern Ireland or wherever else you're from about the permanent export of the car. And I wouldn't have fancied doing all that stuff on my own, trying to figure all that out, you know. Now, going back to lights and rear lights of the car, as most people know, we drive in the UK and in Ireland on the left and in the rest of Europe, or most of the rest of Europe, you drive in the right. Well, your headlights are designed to aim in a direction away from the oncoming traffic, which means your headlights, as they are in Northern Ireland or the UK, won't suit driving in Spain, or won't suit driving anywhere where there's right-hand drive. Now, they can be adjusted, and CRS have experts who can do some sort of adjustment. I don't really understand how that works on the lights to make them legal here, so you can keep your existing lights, but that started at €90 per light, and whenever they quoted me, because it just depends on the make of the car, etc., it was €130 per light. So I thought that was a bit expensive, and I decided to see how much new left-hand side lights would cost, headlights would cost, and I ended up buying them for €65 each, brand spanking new. Fitted them really, really easy, like out and in, like no problem whatsoever. And they were, although aftermarket, they were perfect replacements, fitted perfectly, and looked great, looked far better than my old faded lights would have been, just getting them altered in whatever way they would have altered them. So I would suggest to anyone who's doing it to find out, get the quote for adjusting the lights, because your car might be a very expensive car and the headlights may be very expensive for it, where it'll be a lot cheaper to get it refocused by specialists. So it's something you need to find out both. Or if you're just loaded and you don't really care, get them to do it. And basically that was all it. That all happened, that happened in a couple of hours, a phone call, a couple of text messages, and that was arranged. And then I got an email back from them telling me that my UTV test had been booked, and all was left for me to do was get the car ready. So once the appointment was made, I didn't really go about preparing the car the way I should have. That's the truth, for the test. So it wasn't the smoothest ride for me. But CRS handled everything flawlessly. All I had to do the day of the test was show up at their office and let them take the wheel. So pretty straightforward. Right now, so let's jump back now and see what happened the day of the test.
Flashback.
Right, so MOT or ITV day. These videos are strange. I'm not used to it. I can't remember if I ever did a video where I did it in bits like this. I'm probably going to lose track at some stage. I'll sit down to edit it all. There'll be a big chunk that I didn't cover. But I'm heading now to here. And they're the people that arrange everything for you. I went to them and said, I need my car plates done, I need the registration transferred over to Spain, and they tell you everything and arrange everything, including your tests. So I'm heading there now. It's 11 o'clock. It's funny with MOTs, isn't it? Or ITVs, you always feel nervous no matter what, and it doesn't really matter. Now, there's one thing that I didn't get sorted, and it's the reverse lights in the car. Now, in the UK you don't need your reverse lights, or in Northern Ireland you don't need your reverse lights for the MOT, and this went through about 8 months ago in Northern Ireland, and it just sort of went out of my head, so I don't know what the rules are here, so maybe it'll fail for that. But car's driving great, so hopefully it'll be okay. Haven't got anything done to it. It's a bit overcast this morning for some reason. I don't know where it came from. And saying that, I put this on and I'm sweltered. But this is about a half an hour's drive down the coast, onward and upward. Car registration Spain. So just left it in. The girl said to me, there's no one here to take it to the test, but I'll phone somebody. And I said, right, okay. Can you give me a wee idea of how long it'll be? Nope. You need to give me some sort of idea. There's nothing here. I will show you. To do. She says, nope. And I says, you need to give me an idea. No. And I says, okay, so 4 or 5 hours? No. Maybe 2. I says, that's good, thank you. So, there was another girl, and as I was leaving, she says, there's a coffee shop down there. And another girl said, no, it's closed today. And the first girl said, there's a crazy golf place where you can get a coffee. So I'm going to go there. So I don't know how long I'm going to be. Actually, I'm glad I took this hoodie, because it is a wee bit nippy, it's quite early.
20 minutes later.
Half a kilometre walk and I'm roasting. Right, golf place. Looks very nice, looks very fancy. Looks like a real mini golf course. Sand bunkers and all. There's no sand in them. So, I was only going to go in for a coffee, but I'm quite tempted now to have a round of golf. Put him up with somebody. Nice cup of cappuccino. Very nice. Right, decided not to play crazy golf on my own. Just going to sit here and chill out. So that might change if I get bored. Right, that's 2 hours past, so I've walked all the way back. So I don't know when I'm going to get my car, but the good news is it's not sitting outside their place, so at least it's away somewhere. And just as I say that, it drove in. Well, that was good timing. Let's hope it's passed. Failed for 3 things. Passing down Ireland. One of them, I have wee bubble mirrors to give you a better view behind. Not allowed. Another, my reverse lights. That would have annoyed me if that had been the only thing that failed me, because that would have been completely my own fault. But something to do with suspension, she couldn't read it properly, so I'm not sure. So, have to get it sorted out and book back in again. Can't expect everything to go perfect.
16 paranoia-filled days later.
Right, so yes, it's 2 weeks since my ITV test, or the car's MOT test, and if you want to see what happened, because there was a bit of a story to getting it ready, I may have missed this in another part of this video because I'm doing it all in bits. You can look at my last video. Yes, my last video. Alright, but now, this is the big day. This is Friday before Christmas, and I'm heading down to get the car retested. 3 issues. Bubble mirrors, gone. Reverse lights, need a new switch at the gearbox apparently, and front wheels needed 2 new suspension parts. Pretty big looking suspension parts in the end, but done. And everything should go, hopefully no problem, but if it's the same, you can't assume everything's the same. Well, I have assumed everything. I say that, then right, but I'm assuming that it's the same, that they only check the 3 things that you would fail for. But if they start checking again, who knows what can happen. But I'm heading back down now too, to get the test redone, and hopefully that'll be the end of that. And I don't actually know exactly now when it passes today. I don't know exactly when then I will get the registration. I'm hoping it'll be today, but I'm sure it can't be. Anyway, alright, so onward and upward again. Oh, and I should have said, weather, horrendous. It's Friday, it's raining, it's a wee bit nippy, it's not very cold, but it's very, very dark grey skies. It's still nicer than Northern Ireland, I think, although some people have told me it's been quite mild the last couple of days at home. Alright, sorry, right, here we go.
Later.
Ta-da! Passed, so that's good, that's the car through. It takes 10 days to 2 weeks to get your plates, which will arrive at my door. And then when I put them in the car, that's it all set up and ready to go. They'll do that for you if you want, but I don't want to have to drive away back up here. So pretty painless, they did it all. We'll talk about money at the very end of the video, but they did it all. I've got the wee, when you pass your ITV or MOT, they put a wee sticker on your windscreen. Ta-da! So I've now got that, so I'm all excited that that's all done. I would like to have had the car registered right away. That didn't happen. A couple of other wee things to bear in mind that I maybe haven't mentioned. One, if you fail your ITV on like at home, they don't stop you driving. You get a sheet of paper which entitles you to drive for another 2 months. You have 2 months to get whatever it is fixed. That took another 2 hours, so if they're doing it for you, it looks like it's 2 hours. That's what it's going to take. I left the car in. It's a bit nippy today, as I said. I went for a way up to the golf place again, had a cup of coffee, and then just sat there for a while. And just as I come back, the car came back. I took a risk and came back after about 2 hours and 10 minutes. It feels great to have it through. I'm nearly at the end of doing everything now. You know, moving over and buying properties and getting insurances and all that sort of stuff. It's nearly all at an end, which feels good. I'll be glad when it's all over. The next thing is, yes, getting Spanish plates and stuff. Also, the thing that isn't finished yet is my Spanish residency, which I'm going to make a video about as well. I've been making bits and pieces leading up to it as well, the same way that I've done this one, but it's going to happen fairly soon. That also involved getting health insurance, which I'll go into in a bit of depth. So yeah, so now to the end of the video, jump forward and I'll go through all the costs and any of the other wee details that I may have left out. Alright?
End of flashback.
So I think I actually covered everything I needed to cover. If you have any questions in this subject, feel free to ask me in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Now, the costs. CRS quoted me €1099 plus VAT plus any extras there may be, which I think is very reasonable. Extra costs would be things like if they did the headlights for you, if you had import tax to pay on the vehicle, etc, etc. My one extra is I decided to get the car taxed for the whole year, so I had the extra 9 months to pay. But that was it. There was no sneaky charges or anything like that. So there you go. That's everything that was involved in turning my car into a Spaniard, and I'm going to leave it off there. I hope you found the video useful and entertaining. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I can't tell you how much that helps the channel. The algorithm sees that and pushes your channel forward. You know, I love to hear your comments. Any questions, just ask. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the bell icon if you want to be reminded of new videos. Next video coming soon, but until then, bye for now. Now, while walking down there, I just thought of another couple of things I should probably say. If you're going to get your car ITV'd here, MOT'd here, don't assume it's going to be like home. I think I talked about this in one of the video clips earlier, but make sure you find out everything that's required here and what the differences are. And there's loads of websites out there giving you that sort of advice. I just didn't look it up. Now, I could have failed for something as silly as having 2 wee bubble mirrors on my wing mirrors, you know, just for the sake of not bothering to find out. Alright, that was just a wee cautionary tale.